Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on BallySpring. In the last episode we got the two grass fields re-drilled, but we didn't roll them, so they will need to be rolled today. Just need to look for the roller. Where did I put the rolls? I think it was in the shed around this side. If not, it would be in the shed down the bottom. Was it in this one? Yes it was, yeah. So we'll get them on. And then we'll get to two, well it's really just one field now, but still two kind of separate areas of grass that we re-drilled. We'll get that rolled. And the other thing I do want to do today, if possible, is buy a slurry spreader, because then we can spread the grass field with slurry from the cows, which is just free fertiliser. Obviously you've got to buy the spreader, but once that's bought it's just free fertiliser, so that'll be good. But first things first, we'll get this field rolled and that bit, so it's all one field sort of down, and I'll time lapse this. The rolling all done with the two grass fields, so the rolls can go back to the yard now. Hopefully that's now fixed the weed problem and we won't get more weeds growing through, but we might do. I'm not too sure, just wait and find out on that. And I'll put this back in the shed where it came from, and then we'll look into getting a slurry spreader. We don't have a manure heap. There's not really anywhere to put it, so we don't have any manure, but we do have slurry. Well, I suppose I could put it somewhere if I was to get one, but it's a bit awkward at the moment, not quite sure on the layout of the yard. But I've already got slurry in storage, so it makes sense to go for this spreader. Anyway, that's the rolling completed, so we'll put that away and then look at these slurry spreaders. There is a fast track in the sale, that would be very handy, but even at 54% off it's still 74,000, we've only got 71, and then we wouldn't be able to afford the slurry spreader anyway, so I could have a loan obviously, but that's a big chunk of money really. We have already got two tractors, so it's probably not essential, but that is a good deal. But let's look at these slurry tanks. Not too sure, I don't want to spend a fortune on one. that one isn't bad, really. 22,500. Some of these are far too expensive. That's cheap. That's very small. It's a bit too small. Again, that's quite small, but it's cheap. 8,000. Hard to tell how big that actually is. It's not a bad starting one. It would take a while. That's it is small. That only a 6 meter working width, and it's a small capacity as well. Do we go for that one, or do we go for something a bit more expensive? It's this one as well. It's a 10 meter working width at 40,000. Oh, that's only 19. I've used that one before. That's quite a cheap one. That probably is the best one, really. Best value for money. That looks the same as that other one. Not sure what the difference from those two are. Oh, it's just they're branded. That's all. So that one, although I've used it before, that one is the best deal, really. 19,000 for a 10 meter working width. I think we'll have to go for that one, really, at this stage, because it is just the best value for money. Make sure it is a slurry spreader. I think it is. Yeah, we'll buy that. Of course, I don't have to buy in this series. It's not a survival series, so I can lease. Probably could have done that, actually, but we will be probably spraying the slurry regularly because we've got quite a lot of it coming in from cows. So yeah, it's not going to be a one-off thing. Spreading slurry will be quite often done, I think, to save us some money on fertiliser. Anyway, I'll head down to the shop and we'll collect that spreader. Okay, here we are at the shop. I have just noticed, actually, driving down here, that the repair bar is pretty low. It's because we bought it used. We've already got 33 hours on this tractor, so we better just repair it. That is quite significantly damaged, so we do need to do that. Didn't realise it was so bad, actually. Don't know why I didn't notice that before, but anyway. That's done, so now we have a fully repaired tractor, and here is our slurry spreader. Unfortunately, doing that has just drained our money to 44,000 from 71, so we're never going to get that fast track, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sure we'll get something else in the future. So this needs to be filled up from the cow shed, which is back at the yard. So I'll drive back up to the yard, whoops, pull that in front of you, and I'll run this possession over. Okay, so yeah, we'll drive back up to the yard and we'll get those two fields spread with slurry. Here we are back at the cow farm. Cows here on the left, and the slurry pit is just here. So I'll reverse up to that, and this should fill up the tank. There we go, so that's filling. Not sure how long it's going to take to fill. It's not a massive one, but still holds a bit of slurry there, so just take a few seconds to fill up. And obviously we're going to be spreading the two brown fields, which is the ones we just rolled. That's instead of fertilising it with bought liquid fertiliser, this is just a free option, and it gets rid of the slurry. We can also sell it, I think, if we have too much. I'm not quite sure how much the cows are going to produce, but by the looks of it, quite a bit. So we probably won't need it all for our fields, so whatever we have left over we can sell. That'll bring in a little bit of money. At the moment we've got no income at all. The cows are producing no milk at the moment, so they're just costing us money at the moment, which is not very good. But eventually they will start to make us some money, hopefully. But for now we are sort of not making anything. We've still quite a few months of harvest as well, so I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for money. We might just look at some contracts, because we can't keep spending money and not making anything. So yeah, that's definitely working, which is good. So I think time for probably another time lapse to get these two fields spread with cow slurry. Well, that used up the slurry quite a bit quicker than I was expecting, really. We haven't finished the field, unfortunately, by quite a long way, so I thought we'd have had a bit more than that, or I thought it would have gone further than that. But obviously, yeah, it does use slurry quite quickly, so I'll have to wait for some more slurry before we can finish it, or we have to do it with fertiliser, regular fertiliser. So yeah, that's a shame, but we did get quite a lot done still. But yeah, there's no more at the moment until we spend some time waiting for the next day to come or something. The other thing we do need to do, I think it does have weeds. It says weeds are growing when I was just on there a second ago, so oh, there's a bit left, but no, not enough. It's not worth doing that. So yeah, the weeding will need doing. Now we've got a sprayer. I think it's got herbicide in, so yeah, that'll be the next job then, since we can't finish the fertiliser. Oh, this might have fertiliser in, actually, so we could finish it with a sprayer. No, it's got herbicide in, right? But there is an IBC of fertiliser there, so I suppose we could do that, and then at least it'll be finished. And then I'll do the herbicide, and that'll be done when the weeds have germinated. I assume they are going to germinate, although I couldn't. This is going back to the same problem we had before. So I couldn't spray. I did try spraying the grass fields, and it wouldn't spray the weeds. So, but that might have been because the grass was already too established. Some people were saying that, so that might be true. But either way, we can still do the fertiliser. So let's do that now. Let's just finish the areas that we didn't do with the slurry, with the liquid fertiliser. So where did we get to? It was down here somewhere. Yeah, just that bit. Shame we didn't quite get to the end. That would have been helpful, rather than having that little bit not done. But anyway, this should still work, I think, although it doesn't appear to be doing. Oh dear. So that doesn't work either. Right, that's interesting. So we can't fertilise with liquid fertiliser. That's strange. Well, the slurry was working, so we can fertilise the grass fields, but obviously not with the sprayer. This works on the other arable fields, unless it doesn't work before it germinates. So I think probably what we'll have to do is skip time to the next day, and then we'll see what it's like tomorrow. Okay, so it's now April. We will have more slurry now. Oh look. So now the grass has germinated and we have weeds. So as I've got the sprayer on, let's drop the fertiliser IBC again. If we'll do that. There we go. And we'll switch back to the herbicide. And let's see if it will spray the weeds off this time. This is exactly the same stage it looked to be at when I last tried it. So whether or not it will work this time, I don't know. But let's find out. Just make sure it's full, and then we'll go and see if we can spray the weeds off. There we go. Right. Can we kill the weeds now? Now I've reseeded the fields. So this has definitely got weeds. You can see the weeds. The lighter coloured sort of plants that you can see. Right, sprayer's on, and I believe it is working. Yes, it is working. Yet you can just see the spot sprayer's working. It's just coming on where it sees the weeds. So now we shouldn't have weeds in the grass, which is good. Probably because it's now germinated, the fertiliser will work as well, my guess would be. I don't know for sure. This is a very small field for this sprayer. It's not really wide enough, or the sprayer's too wide for the field. Try lifting the boom up above the hedge and then we'll keep catching it. Okay, so that's the small one done. I will now time-lapse doing the other side. Okay, as you can see there, we've sprayed off pretty much all the weeds, so hopefully now that'll be it. I don't know whether I'll need doing again after we mow the grass, but certainly for now they've been sprayed off, which is good. Just seeing how much slurry we've got. Got another 7,300 litres, that's not too bad, that's enough to do a bit more of the field, which might as well use it, because it's free. So yeah, I'll do that now. Let's hook up back to the slurry spreader. And then we'll spread whatever we've got left here. Whatever we can't do with slurry, I suppose I can try and finish off with a sprayer. But let's just see how much more we can get done with the spreader. Okay, so we still didn't get the whole field finished, so we'll try and finish off with a sprayer just so it's all fertilised. I'm not sure how long it'll be until we can mow that, but probably not that long. At this time of year it should be ready to mow sort of May, June time. It's currently April obviously, so I would have thought, yeah, I should be able to get a cut of grass off that fairly soon. But as we can't do any more slurry spreading because we've got no more slurry, we'll just do the rest if we can with the sprayer. I think it probably will work now though, like I say, because it wasn't germinated before, but now it is, so that should work. If not, we're just kind of stuck. We'll just have to have part of the field not fertilised. Not that grass needs an awful lot of fertiliser anyway. In fact, it seems to be over fertilising. Normally it just goes orange on the mini-map for grass. Let's just see what it says. It says it's perfect, nitrogen's perfect, so obviously that is the right amount. It might depend on the soil type, I suppose. But normally grass doesn't go green when you fertilise it, it usually just goes to the orange colour. What does it say where it is orange? Oh. It says it's perfect there as well, so does it just not need it? Maybe it doesn't need it. That'll be why it's not working then. So it still won't work because I think I'm over, well, not over fertilising, it still says it's perfect, but it just doesn't need it. I don't think it'll affect the yield by over fertilising because it still says perfect. If it was too much, it would surely say bad or something, but it doesn't, it says perfect. So it's just a waste, I think. I'm just wasting slurry. That's annoying. Didn't know that. Should have checked that first. Okay, so there's no point doing that. Shouldn't think it'll work, because yeah, that'll be why. That's why it wasn't working. At least I know now. I've managed to work it out. I'm sure somebody's already left a comment, but I've worked it out for myself. Really should have known that. Never mind. At least we know that the grass field is fully fertilised. Well, I think probably that's all I can do today really, because we're just waiting for the grass fields to be ready now. Don't really want to skip another day today, so yeah, I think that'll probably do for today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.